This story is pure nightmare fuel and should serve as a reminder to all of us that we're probably not as safe as we think we are, even in our own homes. So this story takes place back in 2017, and in that year, this woman, Jenna, is renting a house up in Northern California. And this house is located in sort of a rural-ish area just outside the suburbs. Jenna has a few neighbors, but it's not like all the houses are crammed up right next to each other or anything like that. Also, there's no streetlights in this particular area, so it gets really dark at night. But Jenna likes that because there's no light pollution, which makes it very easy for stargazing, and that's something she really enjoys to do. So one night in the wintertime, Jenna pulls into her driveway from work, and her house is completely dark. She had just worked a long shift at work with overtime, and she was exhausted. And when she got out of her car, the first thing she noticed was a very distinct smell of cigarette smoke. Now, Jenna herself didn't smoke, and neither did any of her neighbors, and she also didn't see anyone on the street smoking or anybody nearby. She found this odd, but again, she's completely exhausted from work, so she just kind of shrugs it off and goes inside to take a shower and go to bed. Now, before we continue, we need to talk about this guy, Max. Max is a pretty good friend of Jenna's, and he goes to work and also takes some classes in the general area where Jenna's house is. So Jenna, being a good friend, gave Max a spare key to her house so he can come over between classes and work to take a shower and change and that sort of thing. And Max, also being a good friend, always texts or calls Jenna before he comes over just to kind of give her a heads up. So anyway, back to Jenna. She's gone to bed and she's sleeping at this point, but a little while later, she's woken up to the sound of something downstairs. But she's not alarmed or anything like that because she figures it's probably just Max stopping by in between work and school. So she grabs her phone from the nightstand and opens it up to see if she got a text from him. But again, she had just woken up and she's kind of disoriented and her phone screen's really bright, so she can't really tell. So she decides that she's just gonna yell out Max's name. So she does. After a few seconds, she hasn't gotten an answer, so she yells out his name again. A little more silence goes by, and then all of a sudden she hears heavy footfalls on her first floor. And then she hears someone charging up her stairs. And acting on the fight or flight instinct, her body just leaps out from her bed and runs to her closet and shuts her closet doors. Now, Jenna always sleeps with her bedroom door shut, but the bathroom door at the end of her hallway is cracked open a bit. And luckily, this intruder runs past her closed bedroom door and runs into that bathroom. And this gives Jenna just enough time to open the wooden panel up into her attic, and she hops up there and climbs up into the attic. Then all of a sudden, this intruder busts open her bedroom door just as she's able to climb up into the attic out of sight. Then this guy flips on the lights and runs over to her closet doors and flings them open. And when Jenna looks down at him, she's tucked away to where her vantage point, she can only see his legs and his feet, and all she can see that he's wearing these dirty, torn jeans and dirty work boots.
What are those?
Now, thankfully, this guy doesn't think to look up, so he never sees the attic or Jenna, or sees that the wooden panel has been removed. And when he can't find her, he goes absolutely fucking berserk. He lets out this primal scream, and he just begins trashing her bedroom.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
He flips over her bed and her dresser looking for her, and when he can't find her in there, he runs across the hall into a different room, and Jenna can hear him tearing things up in there too. Then she hears him run back down the stairs, and she can hear him flipping over furniture in there, and opening cabinet doors, and throwing canned goods on the floor, and breaking glass, and punching holes in the wall like his name is Kyle and he's had one too many Monster energy drinks. And this literally goes on for hours. This guy's running around every part of her house, just completely tearing it up. She can just hear this guy ripping her place apart. And at one point, she hears him say,
"I know you're here. I'm gonna find you."
But there's not much Jenna can do because she didn't grab her cell phone when she ran into the closet because everything just happened so fast. So like I said, this goes on for a few hours. And Jenna's scared to come down from the attic because she's not really sure if this guy has left yet or not. So she calms herself down as best she can, and she tells herself, if I can just slowly count to 1,000 and reach 1,000 without hearing any more noise, then I'll come down. And some time passes, but she is eventually to reach 1,000 without hearing anything, so she comes down. So she grabs her phone and calls the police. And when the police show up, she tells them everything that's happened. So police do a search for the guy inside the house, and they don't find him, but they find the entire house has just been ransacked and destroyed. And disturbingly, they see that a knife is missing from the butcher's block in the kitchen. Then the police make their way outside to search there, and they discover that the side door to the house has been pried open with either a crowbar or some other kind of tool. They also find a bunch of cigarette butts along the house's fence line, as well as some tinfoil and a pen tube that police say was likely used to smoke some of that blue Walter White stuff, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on!
So it's likely that this tweaker was smoking by her fence on the side of her house as she was pulling up to her driveway after work.
Drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad. Because drugs are bad, okay?
Jenna would wind up staying in that house for another 3 years. But when she did finally move, she said she would always practice moving from her bed to her closet up into the attic as quickly as she could. Good for her. I probably would have moved out the very next day. Well, that's going to wrap this one up, guys. And as always, if you made it this far, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one.